How's it going, guys and gals? This is Advanced Warrior here, and welcome back to another Advanced Wars by Web replay commentary. Today's replay commentary is taking us back to Global League on a very familiar map with sort of a familiar setting. So the map that we are on today is called Assassins. It is a 3-base, 1 airport side map, and the noticeable thing about this map is that each side has a tank on the opponent's side behind a pipe seam. Now what you want to do with this tank is that you just want to keep blasting open that pipe seam until it breaks, and it could start harassing any units that try to go past the tank. Most likely infantry, because the infantry can immediately pass through the river here. So what you want to do is that you want to have an artillery or maybe a mech or maybe even both, and try to take out the tank before it can break free and start harassing all of your units. If you just sit there and not blast at the pipe seam, then your opponent is going to less likely be threatened by that tank. So I don't know if there's any mind games to it at all, but definitely you want to build an artillery or mechs, whatever, to try to stop that tank. Funny enough, Kindle is actually tier 2, not tier 3 on this map, which is why you don't see any Kindles on the side there. You got a base here that could pass through the rivers, a second pipe seam here that could help you reinforce the middle a lot easier. I have mixed feelings about breaking this pipe seam or leaving it alone, because if you're going to try to reinforce the weak side here, then all you have to do is just go through one forest, which is the only punishing terrain for any vehicles here. You have a airport right behind the HQ, which is also protected by a black boat, which is also a nice thing. I feel like usually here are where the contested properties are. The middle one is obviously definitely heavily contested. I'm sorry. You also have comm towers on the sides that are slightly in the middle, not too hard to get, but if you don't get it soon enough, then yeah, your opponent can definitely try to do something about it. Alright, so that's enough about the map. Me and my opponent had a tier 3 game, and obviously I would love to pick Kindle. Kindle gets that firepower bonus on the city, which could blast that pipe seam a lot quicker. Also a lot of properties in the middle, but that is unfortunately not the case for tier 3. So I looked at my opponent, and I was kind of sensing that they would pick a certain CO. And the funny thing is, I picked Grey Sky and the CO, because apparently the lore of Grey Sky is that it's the army that you fight Clone Andy with. That's what it was originally based off. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but I just thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, both of us picked Andy. Andy has no day-to-day at all, just like Adder. No day-to-day. So we'll just go straight into his powers. His power, 3 stars, hyper repair, heals all of his units for +2 HP, which can be used as an immediate counter to global damage. I've seen it used against Drake. Olaf could maybe work. Hawk, definitely nice to have if you're trying to have a counterattack after devastating global damage power. I can kind of see it being used there, but for 6 stars, his super is hyper upgrade. Hyper upgrade heals all of his units for 5 HP, gives all of his units +1 move, and gives all of his units +10% attack. In Black Hole Rising, it's +20% attack, but in Advanced Wars by Web, you get a +10% attack boost whenever you use the power. So this is to kind of balance out the attack boost, although it feels, kind of feels like a shadow nerf. Why does only Andy, Max, and Sammy get -10% when some of the other COs get +10% just for using the powers? It's a little bit weird with the balancing, but yeah, Andy is a very I would say a simple CO. One thing you do want to do when you're facing Andy, however, is that you want to kill his units. You don't want to damage multiple enemies, because they can come back with a hyper upgrade and have a really strong counterattack. So yeah, that's one tip for facing Andy. Definitely kill his units. If you're playing Andy, at least try to save your units, because your powers can really help out your units, make them stronger, and etc. All those very nice bonuses. Alright, so yeah, I think there's not a whole lot else to cover. I have played on this map before, like I said, but I was player 2. Now this time I am player 1. And instead of both of us being Drake, like my one replay, both of us are playing Andy. So we'll just see how this goes. Alright, so, you know, day 1. Oh wait, no, I'm on the top, player 1. Yeah, okay. So yeah, just build a simple infantry. My opponent here gets the infantry, allows them to get that base immediately. Alright, as player 2, let's see here. I go for this city immediately, because it's a nice little chain here. And I'll do the same movement as my opponent to try to go for my base as soon as I can. Alright, day 2. My opponent's just going for the base. Same idea with the capture chain here, and my opponent immediately goes to the river. I do see this though, so that's another nice thing about this tank. Not only is it a threat, but it's also vision for whatever is trying to pass through the river. And yeah, in 2 turns, the infantry can sit on the river. Right after that, it can immediately capture the city to add some middle presence. Me, on the other hand, I do this second because I don't have a free infantry. Had my first one go for that base. And yeah, I'm just going for immediate cities here. Alright, day 3. Let's see here. I don't know why I feel like I'm double clicking. But yeah, as expected, infantry just crossing the rivers and they are capturing that base. I do capture my base slightly behind, but again, you know, my opponent's player 2, they do get that free infantry, and I build an artillery to deal with this tank. I build it back here because my other base is going to have an infantry, and this infantry can immediately cross this river, or it could start maybe capturing this property, possibly, because I'd likely have this one up here capture this property here. Alright, day 4 for my opponent. In range to capture either of these 2 cities here, and has his infantry capture the nearest base down there. Infantry on the mountain, capture chain, and they build an artillery on the top side, which, like I said earlier, if you have an artillery, if you have an infantry here, it can immediately cross the river. Have an infantry here, would maybe go to the side, or maybe climb the mountain and grant vision, and like start getting some of these cities on the other side of the pipe seam perhaps. But I guess it really depends, but I really did want this infantry to cross the river. The artillery can reach the tank no matter what base it is. Like, you build it back here, you could plop right here. This base, obviously, you could plop it right here and just start shooting down the tank, so long as you have the vision for it. So I capture all of my properties, start heading towards the center a little bit. I kind of like what my opponent did here, because, wait, no, I'm sorry. Me being over here, I can only capture this city instead of this city, but it's in the forest, so it would be, you know, it will be hidden from the tank, but, you know, just a little minor thing when it comes to my opponent's vision. Alright, and here my opponent puts his artillery on the forest, and like I said from my last Assassin's game, I do not agree with this. Putting it in the forest, yeah, it'll be hidden. If your opponent's not paying attention, it'll catch him by surprise. It certainly did with me. But the tank's vision will allow the artillery to be seen, no matter, like, it goes here and into the forest, or it goes here into the forest, it can be seen by this tank because of the vision here. And plus, you also move it one space up, which is, you know, you can spare like an extra movement if you eventually pull back with it. Because let's say if it wants to go to this bridge maybe, or this, let's say this property, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movement, which is up here, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 movement would get you up here. I forgot how much move these guys have. How much move? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 5 movement. Okay, yeah. You have the artillery like on the plains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will immediately be on the city. It's just like I said, just an extra tile of movement that's really nice for the artillery, especially all units. But so yeah, there's no point putting it in the forest because it's just going to cost you movement, and the opponent, if they watch the replay, knows it's going to be seen regardless. So yeah, my opponent goes for the city and the comm tower. I do kinda like this, although I do think it's a very high chance that the artillery can kill the tank in 2 turns. But I guess the comm tower is a nice little guarantee. Alright, and my opponent continuing to move through the rivers in the city, and he builds a recon on his back base, possibly to maybe harass some of my units on my strong side, his weak side, or at least scout out his weak side. But they might run into tanks if I'm going to play traditional strong side on the right, weak side on the left. Alright, so I again capture my properties, and I unfortunately only capture my comm tower the turn after I'm ready to fire on the tank. But at least next turn I'll probably get that plus 10%. But yeah, as you can see, the artillery gets a nice hit on the tank, and it's guaranteed to kill it next turn because defense from terrain is only calculated through how much HP a unit has. So obviously for 10 HP, their 3 terrain stars is going to grant 30 defense. On 5 HP, however, 3 terrain stars is going to grant 15%, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because you know it's half of 5 is half of 10, 15 is half of 30. Yeah, you know, like 30% of 10 is 30, 30% of 5 is 15. I hope I'm right. But yeah, one thing to know, the lower your HP, the less stronger terrain stars are. I think that's something very important to know when it comes to calculating your damage. So I go for, looks like I'm going for my airport here, and then maybe like try to take advantage of like a nice little 2 chain here. My infantry moves forward to try to get that city. This infantry here does allow vision for my artillery to shoot this tank, and then next turn, and then after that, I can capture immediately with this infantry. And I build a tank on my backside because infantry from the base moves a lot quicker. The front base, that is. So yeah, my opponent also gets a nice little shot. Unfortunately, doesn't capture the comm tower first. This is a very minor engagement, so this is okay. But if you're like taking fights and you're like shooting at your opponent's units, definitely capture your comm tower first. I sometimes still make that mistake, and I've seen some like higher level players make the same mistake as well. So yeah, recon moving out to the weak side. Again, the only thing that's in the way of vehicles is just this forest tile. So I have mixed feelings about this pipe seam, yes. Maybe if you want to use this base and reinforce the middle and strong side, then yeah, I can see that. But you're like going solely weak side, I don't have an issue with this forest here. Looks like my opponent kind of did the same thing from this city, and immediately going diagonal to the airport. My opponent also builds a tank on the backside. I'd like to see that. And I'm just moving forward. Thankfully, I kill the vision first before moving anything near it, so gives my opponent a lot less information. And yeah, units are just moving forward. I might have made a mistake here. Yeah, I made a mistake here. I moved my infantry before I moved my tank, and therefore my tank does not get the max movement. Yeah, what I should have done is I should have moved my tank so it can be here, and then I can have this infantry like in front of the tank, and this infantry would be fine back here because it's still in range to capture this property. Minor mistake by me. Funny how my opponent has less movement on his artillery because they're putting it on the forest. I have less movement on my tank because I moved my infantry first. Micro mistake, but one movement still could cost me. And I build a tank, recon, infantry. Enough funds to have that. Recon is just to scout out the weak side here, just to see how far my opponent pushed forward. Day 7 for my opponent, and yeah, they're moving up. Couldn't get on the mountain, so they can't get any extra vision. I lose my tank here, and my opponent's infantry is moving up. I don't know what this is. My opponent probably started capturing this property. I don't know why these two infantry are overlapped here. Minor replay bug. And yeah, as you can see, my opponent's getting the max movement on their tank. Recon moves around just fine, sees that I have an infantry there, just capturing, and a tank on the middle side. If they're going to split tanks, and like have this tank cover the recon, I could kind of understand that. But I like to have at least 2 tanks, maybe 3, all go the same front so they can all cover each other. And plus it puts this infantry on the back here, which it's going to take some time, like 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5, 6 turns until the infantry would make it to the front lines, assuming it went around the river. So yeah, I'm just capturing properties. I'm hoping to get this one, but my opponent is like dangerously close to the center here. So I'll probably lose this or like get interrupted because they have 2 infantry in range, one to move in for vision, the other to attack. Or this is recon. Yeah, this recon could get vision, so I could probably like get my infantry being attacked by 2 of my enemy's infantry. So yeah, moving my tank forward, I do not cover my 2 furthest infantry. So this one is hidden in forest, however. This one is hidden in the forest, however, this one is dangerously in the center. So yeah, my recon's just moving out just to do some scouting. Tank in the back, infantry, and my artillery is moving to my strong side. I've seen how good artillery can be when you've like kind of got a death ball going on. So my opponent's moving his tank forward, and recon, that is not a free hit, buddy. Ooh, I am going to strike from the city, or maybe depends how much damage I did with the counterattack infantry. If I move this infantry, attack from the city, this infantry in the back cannot do any chip damage. So is that a gamble I'm willing to take? I don't know. It is on the plains, however, so it's harder to one-shot. And yeah, as you can see, my opponent here has the vision and can attack my infantry from both sides. Thankfully, not a kill. I believe it's 33% for a kill. Guaranteed kill if you have plus 20% attack power, which each of us only have 10 because we have no day-to-day and there's 1 comm tower for each player. Artillery moves back. Yeah, as you can see here, attacking from the forest, his artillery is on the bridge. Me, I attack from the plains. My artillery is already on the city. It can refuel, it can resupply, which is nice. And here you can see that I've done enough damage to the pipe seam where my opponent can just chip it down with infantry. And now they have a free... I thought the city would be captured last turn. I'm sorry. But now my opponent has a city that they can access to from the front lines and heal. Me, unfortunately, I don't. It's at 24 HP, so that's 1 less city that I'm able to retreat to and heal on my side. And yeah, it kind of sucked. For real though, I really thought this infantry was, I really thought this infantry would capture the city last turn. I might have missed something. Alright, now I'm really curious where my opponent sends the tank. Did it attack the pipe seam? Why is this tank overlapped? But they built another artillery. Probably to attack this pipe seam, which I do understand. Like I said, I have mixed feelings for it. If you want to reinforce the middle, then yeah, definitely go for the pipe seam. Oh, he did go for the pipe seam. Alright. So yeah, I pull back here, and I get a first strike on this infantry. I move up, and I see that my opponent's already at my city HQ. I'm not there, unfortunately, so that's a bit scary. So I move on the mountain to get vision, and you know, my opponent's already here, I'm not already here, so I felt like I was a little slow. But then I remembered the free infantry that my opponent had. Sometimes you just like the free infantry, but also moving first is also kind of nice. So, unfortunately, I do try to take the gamble, and my chip damage from my infantry was not enough to kill this recon. So, mistake by, not a mistake really, because say if my opponent had a tank to cover that recon, then yeah, attacking from the road would definitely suck. But this recon can now be a scout, just because it has 1 HP. It's going to be hidden a lot more, and it's going to be very annoying for me. And I built a battlecopter here. Andy's battlecopters are pretty good because they do take damage from other battlecopters, but they also don't die from other battlecopters. So if there's ever a copter-on-copter fight, and the person that's going has a hyper upgrade that's just 5 HP back, and they'll definitely have a much better counter attack following the next turn. I was glad to see that this recon cannot see my backup tank though, which is pretty nice. And I build an artillery also outside of recon range, and I have a recon on my strong side now. Because I like having recons on either front. Alright, day 9 for my opponent here. Let's see here. They capture this city, which sucked. Capture the airport. Recon moves back. Again, it's hidden, and it's got vision. Okay, I can see that. Artillery is... It's hidden, but the likelihood of me having something I could scout out behind this pipe seam is... you know, at the point where I'm probably overextending. It is also like closest it can be to attack the pipe seam, as well as move in the next turn. I don't hate it. And we got the tank looping around here. Alright, so I lose my 1 HP infantry, and my opponent has enough to kill and start capturing that property, so that's beginning to suck. I'm behind 2 income. I'll just be 1 behind, assuming my opponent doesn't interrupt this city here. And my opponent builds an anti-air. At the same turn, I build a battlecopter, which is a little scary. Again, I can understand, like, you know, the infantry can still cross through the river. It's not a river, it's a shoal mountain, and then through some rivers it'll be in the middle. This tank here is also closest to get to the front. I believe it's equal, or... yeah, equal from either base where it goes. But if you want an infantry close to the front, then yeah, probably build a vehicle back here. Alright, day 10. So I attack the infantry here. Really nice because it's a missile silo, a used missile silo. So I will get 3 terrain stars, and I just go for the attack. My battlecopter moves up behind my black boat to be very safe, and I use my black boat to refuel my battlecopter, because battlecopters take up 5 fuel per turn. Sometimes nothing. Sometimes it's not anything to like really, you know, be concerned about. Alright, so I go for the attack here, and what do you know? It's there's a tank right here. I do kill off this infantry, however, this allows my opponent to get the first strike from the city, which is going to suck. So I have my tank back here. It's on the city, which is good terrain, but I'm also kind of hoping that if they scout out this first, my opponent would be less reluctant to attack my tank, but we'll just see. And this artillery does not cover my my front tank, unfortunately. Alright, so I just move my tank forward to cover these infantry. Covers my second tank just a little bit. Infantry is just moving forward. And tank, artillery, recon. No, I knew I was going to do this. I do the same mistake here. Infantry should be on the front base instead of the back base here. It was just you know, micromanage mistake. Micromanagement mistake, whatever. Yeah. I know I keep saying, you know, have infantry here, build vehicle in the back, but, you know, sometimes I make mistakes as well. Alright, so my opponent right now is 2 income ahead. Slowly moving forward on my HQ. One thing I was worried about was having a bunch of units on my black boat and just start blasting it with artillery and then start capturing it. And since we're Andy, if I don't deal enough damage, they could like hyper repair, hyper upgrade, and then they would get the and they could probably get the HQ cap by a power, which was a little scary. And now here, as you can see, my opponent does go for the attack from the city, which was a bit of a relief. At least I'm not getting attacked from the city by the tank. And my opponent gets trapped here, trying to scout out anything there, but you're scouting the wrong spot, buddy. And let's see what my opponent does with this tank. Alright, so they have another one here, and ooh, hello there. Ah, man, protected my infantry. Now they're gonna get a nasty hit. Oh wait, no, never mind. That was yeah, my opponent was able to loop around and get that first strike, which actually sucks. I will admit. So that's very unfortunate for me. And yeah, here you see my opponent is aware that, you know, infantry move fastest up front, and they build 2 tanks on the other side. Okay, so I now have a damaged artillery. Like I said from my other video, I do struggle to find use for artillery on this map because it's so big. Maybe the forest here, if you're capturing a property, that's a little bit closer on your opponent's strong side though. Okay, so I move in to interrupt the capture. A little aggressive of me, I will admit. But I am aware that I am behind on income, so I guess I'll just try to keep the lead as much as I can. I don't do a lot of good protection for my city here. That might have been because I've seen the artillery. Yes, I've seen the artillery, so I'm not going to put anything on the street and let them attack it for free. So I just kind of like do like a, you know, weird little wall. And my artillery is moving off to the side, maybe because I'm like starting to feel that pressure there, so a little awkward to have my artillery bring around this side. Or maybe I did want to build an artillery in the middle, because it's a lot closer to reinforce the left side rather than the base back here. I don't know. But I kind of like what I did there. Alright, so I get the first strike on the tank here, as well as this infantry. I attack the, I kill all the infantry here, and I just sit on the city. It's good terrain. There's maybe the forest I could attack from. Artillery is not covering it though, but yeah, I've killed like a handful of infantry and a tank, so I was feeling a little good on that bottom side there. And I build a medium tank. Medium tank because I want something big to start threatening these units here. The artillery is the most scariest thing about for my medium tank, however. But another nice thing about Andy is that when you have teched up units as Andy, they're a lot harder to kill, and because of that they will come back with a lot more HP and just be, you know, super viable for the counterplay. So that's why trying to kill all of Andy's units is important. Maybe that's why I didn't go for this tank here. Although we're not at the point where we're at our supers yet, just our hyper repairs. So the pipe seam's finally been blasted from my opponent, and they kill off my infantry here. I only delay this for another turn, so probably not super worth it. My opponent gets vision to see what's around, and they interrupt the capture of the city here, and they're just getting a lot of first strikes. My opponent's moving in, just trying to get some vision. Tank and artillery are... Artillery, I don't know, maybe it did shoot it so it's not moving. And my opponent gets 2 dangerous strikes up here, and they cover it with the artillery, so that's a little scary for me. And my opponent finally builds a battlecopter. A bit surprised I haven't seen one yet. Maybe that's why I didn't have an anti-air. Alright, but this tank, however, is in range of my copter, and it cannot be counterattacked by my opponent's artillery. So yeah, I get the 7 HP kill with the copter, and I deal 7 damage to that artillery. So I try to capture and, you know, try to join capture. I do see the artillery move over. Could have been a second one, but I'm glad that it's not over here anymore. And I do see the anti-air, so I do need to protect this copter in some way. So yeah, unfortunately, artillery does not die. I do a little join cap up here, kill off that infantry, deal damage to that other one, and just, you know, starting to pile up 5 HP artillery just to be some kind of deterrence here. Pull the tank back, and I just start healing. And I start capturing the property, start healing back here just to be a lot more safer, and yeah, just, you know, balling up just a little bit. Medium tank and artillery are on the way. I don't remember if I do go for this pipe seam here. I do see one anti-air, and it might try to go for this middle copter, which is why I built another copter up here. It can fly over the rivers. Plus, it's the closest thing I can deploy a unit from to try to protect my HQ. And I just, you know, refuel with my recon here. So anti-air doesn't go for the copter. My opponent didn't have a way to break through, or maybe they did. Yeah, like maybe move the artillery, kill the infantry here with the infantry and tank, and then anti-air attacks the battlecopter. And plus they have more tanks reinforcing, so that would have been a little bit scary. Oh nope, my opponent, let's see what they go for. They go for the artillery, which is pretty alright. Yeah, these 2 tanks over here are very scary. Breaking that middle pipe seam, yeah, like I said, reinforces the middle. But if you want to reinforce just the weak side, then yeah, you don't need to worry about this pipe seam here. So my opponent's getting a lot of damage in, and then they pop hyper upgrade in the middle of their turn, which is really good. It's I would say it's a skill level with hyper upgrade, where you damage some units first, and then you pop your power to re-heal all of that. It's a nice little balance between when do you want to damage your units for the repair, and when do you want the plus, you know, 30% offense and like 10% defense with the seal power use and the hyper upgrade combined, alongside the +1 movement. So yeah, my opponent gets really good first hits, and they stop the cap entirely. Artillery is at 7 HP, infantry is empowered to kill my tank, and the tank attacks from the city, obviously getting a heal. Attacks the city, that obviously getting the kill because of the hyper upgrade boosts. Looks like I will get that center city though, which will only put me behind by 1 income. Anti-air from my opponent because they see that 1's over here. It's not doing anything to the other side. Tanks moving up with that booster movement there. Alright, so day 13. I finally have my power, so let's see what I do here. Capture the center property here. So now I am excuse me. So now I am just 1 income behind. My opponent hasn't captured this property yet, so I would be 2 behind, but they didn't go for the city. So I go for a attack here, take 9 damage, take 1 damage, and then I use hyper upgrade. I'm pretty sure I used it for the movement of this copter here, and it has an attack boost, and it lets me kill that anti-air. The irony of a copter killing an anti-air. I was just thinking, like, could I have attacked this infantry from that angle that my recon took? But I don't know, it's hidden in the forest, so I can kind of see why I did that. I don't know why, just balling up, I guess. So I come around and I attack the tank up here because it takes machine gun counterattack from a tank, which is why copters are so nice. And unfortunately I do not kill that that tank, but my other infantry here have definitely done that, and I attack from the city, which is very nice, walling off here. And my infantry are just moving forward. They move a lot more because of the rivers. And I build an anti-air because I do see this copter. And I build a recon. Maybe I want to send this recon to the left here, but I want my combat vehicles a bit closer. I can kind of understand that. I have been shooting this pipe seam with my artillery. I guess this is probably just from what I was feeling. You know, I want to reinforce the center, not so much on my weak side. My weak side's doing okay holding off all these units, so I definitely want to reinforce that center. So maybe you could opt for blasting open that pipe seam. My opponent goes for the capture here. Not protecting it though, which is a little unusual. But maybe they want their units to do something else. Got a nice little defense boost, so they're not rolling for that kill. Alright, and tanks are just sitting on cities. Infantry units are just moving around. Battlecopter moves up and then tries to shift over to the side. Probably because I've seen the battlecopter and built an anti-air here. My only anti-air here. I'm a little disappointed with my lack of anti-airs this game, honestly. Or at least at this point in the game. Double artillery to cover each other, which is really good. Infantry moves in the forest just for hiding sake. This infantry teleported. Looks like it got trapped walking in. Kind of don't know how that happened. But yeah, you know, I move my recon in the center just to scout out, and I see my opponent's kind of falling back on that middle side just a little bit. I do interrupt the cap, and I do kill the scouting infantry, which is really nice. Medium tank moves up. I know now my opponent knows I have a medium tank. I kind of want them to like react to it, I guess. Keeping it hidden, I can see the benefit of it, but yeah, I've shown my hand. It's like, I got a medium tank. I want to see you respond to this. Why do I have so many overlapping units? I need to see where I put this battlecopter and this recon. Probably moved it through the pipe seam, maybe. Oh yeah, I did try to attack the pipe seam with it. Unfortunately not at 1 HP, however. 1 HP is just enough to do chip damage. But yeah, that sucked. Battlecopter moved back. So I could cover my recon, my other battlecopter, and all these units. Not covering my tank though, although this tank covers that tank. Not from a battlecopter, however. So yeah, my opponent's still going for that capture, finally capturing their property over here, which I believe is a mirror equivalent to this one, which I've already captured. Recon, trying to get a little bit of scouting, and I see movement. Let's see if my opponent kills that recon. They probably should. Right now I can see everything because this recon is just sitting there. What just died? I lost 4 HP infantry, but they'll probably lose their 6 HP infantry. And ignoring this recon, I'm getting a lot of vision here. I can see most of my opponents move, and the Neo tank. Like I said, anti-tech ups are great. It's also a good thing that my opponent teched up when they have the income advantage, because obviously they're going to enjoy that. I am going to struggle trying to match my opponent with tech ups because I am behind on income. However, infantry is built from the back, so maybe my opponent wants to bring it to the middle, which is a good move from them. Alright, so why did I do that? I should have gotten vision first. I guess because I saw that there's probably no huge threat for a medium tank, I'm going to use it to try to capture this property, maybe put me in the lead, or maybe make it even, because my opponent's going to get this property. You know, it's just funny, did I refill my recon? I feel my recon, I don't know why. But yeah, I finally get damage on that pipe seam, and I save the cap here with my tank. And yeah, that infantry is just gonna die. Put it on the city just for some vision. Oh, I see now. I probably used my battlecopter to hit the pipe seam. I might have used other units as well, like maybe my artillery, so I can get a city to access to for healing like my opponent has here. Except I did most of the work here. This one I had to do some work as well. Alright, so I'm starting to cluster up most of my units on my weak side here, because I see a bunch of units on the left side of the map here. And I just build more battlecopters, you know, just trying to boost up that unit count. How many copters I build? I have 4 copters. I don't think I've lost a single one yet. Could be wrong, but we'll see. Alright, so my opponent again, you know, trying to get that capture. And now they have a recon, a lot of intel on that side. Neo tank, zooming down the middle. Infantry kills the weaker infantry. And you know, they're just starting to wall up here. Yeah, I think my opponent realizes that they're not going to get that city. Eventually, that had to be mine. So yeah, right now they are 2 income behind, but it's the middle of the turn, and they don't have anything for that city here. Oh, I see I see an infantry being built here. What's the bigger build? Just tank infantry and transport copter. Okay. Maybe my opponent wants to send infantry towards his weak side, and transport copters are definitely going to allow that, you know, faster transportation. But I move my recon down here just to get some vision. I see tanks sitting on cities, which is understandable. Rest in peace, anti-air, but that is a valuable kill right there. And I loop around just to try to get vision, and I see that there's an anti-air here. Kill off that recon. Tank from the back kills off that infantry. So my tank can come up here and do exactly that. And I can sit on the tank and damage the anti-air for any potential copters. Notice how I attack with some back units first, before I attack with the front units. It's a very it's a micromanagement move that definitely everyone should follow, because if you have like in Fog especially, where you attack with your front units and you kill off a unit and you see like an artillery that's like right behind it, unfortunately it would be a few spaces away from your back unit. But if we go back a little bit, both of your units, front and back, can attack one unit. So if you attack with the back unit and kill that unit and see what's behind it, then your front unit obviously is more spaces up, and obviously has that movement to use up and attack any back units that you see that just got vision from your first unit. I hope that made sense. But yeah, just move, if you're attacking, move your back units first. Alright, so I'm starting up a little bit of a consolidation here. Unfortunately, my opponent does get away with a tank over here. They can see a good amount of information here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units here. These 2 units can already see these other units here. Alright, so yeah, moving infantry up, and I build an anti-air, because I'm like, why do I only have one anti-air this whole game? Oh no, I already built one up here. Oh yeah, I built this one because I know this one's gonna die. Day 16 for my opponent here. Transport copter moves up. Doesn't use a transport boost. I guess just moving on the mountain. Yeah, they could have built an infantry, put it here, move it 1 space up. Either direction's fine. And then next infantry moves up, transport copter moves the next turn, etc. Attacking from the city. And they go for the city tank. Probably could have killed my my tank here, but now I know they got Neo tank. And this, my opponent messaged me and said this was a misclick, which really sucked. They have I think they might have wanted to attack with the battlecopter, but yeah, that sucks to hear. misclick anti-air attacks the medium tank. I can imagine it was the battlecopter because they were right next to each other. So let's see how my opponent makes up for it. Artillery in the forest protected by a tank on a property, and an infantry only exposed to one side, so yeah, that's a bit scary. My opponent here trying to deal damage to all of my tanks. Oh, kills that one. Alright, so day 17. I do believe I've also made a misclick as well. So recon here just to try to get some scouting, and black bolt allows me to repair that 1 HP that anti-air did. Thankfully I killed that anti-air. My anti-air, I know it should target copters, but you know, it can one-shot infantry, especially on the road, and it's also hidden, so yeah, my opponent's gonna definitely want to move that battlecopter around, where I have another anti-air. This one survived, so to my surprise. And I do kind of just like wall up again. And yeah, I go for this, although I'm probably gonna lose that copter. I do not want that anti-air to heal. So yes, I get that kill. I start capturing that property, and I'm standing my ground to my surprise. Maybe because of all my copters. Anti-air moves back into safety. Unfortunately isn't covering my units. Maybe this battlecopter will. Next turn I'll probably get movement, we'll just see. And I tried to be annoying by capturing properties that are way overextended, but I wanted my opponent to use up something to interrupt those caps. This little wall here cannot see my tank unless it kills one infantry, exposes it from one side, and then attacks from the other. If it just stands in front, it can't attack because it needs vision before it attacks. And I built a medium tank because 21,000. I do not have enough for a neo tank. If I did, I'd probably have to base skip. So I kind of felt like, okay, my only good units against the neo tank are artillery, medium tanks, and battlecopters. So this is definitely a huge threat. I'm staring down here. So my opponent, yeah, uses a battlecopter to interrupt the capture, which is fine. You know, my opponent can still use the battlecopter in such a way. So yeah, although I got this infantry here, I want to see what they do about it. Recon strikes the no, artillery strikes the recon, but it can't reach the recon because it had to expose it first. Artillery just gets a shot on my infantry, only thing in range. Neo tank comes in the middle, whoosh, and now hyper upgrade. All those damage units that you see now coming back, like especially all these 3 tanks in the middle here. So this is gonna hurt. Plus they all got that nice little movement boost. Attacks from the city. First strikes the copter, gets the kill on the copter, gets the kill on the recon, and has the infantry to interrupt the capture. And the infantry is just moving up to see what's behind, so it can get the angle to attack from there. And then you got the infantry moving up again. Transport copter moves all the way up here. I see why they did that. Another anti-air here, and no attack on that top side. Very covered by the artillery here, so it's looking a little bit scary for me. Alright, so 2 anti-airs and an artillery from my opponent. Alright, so now I use my hyper upgrade because I really don't have anything to repair, but I wanted to use it for the movement boost and the damage boost because I've got a lot of things that can attack this neo tank here in the middle. So let's see here. So battlecopter moves up. I meant to move with the recons to get the vision. I'm at least getting the vision, but that's one less unit I can attack with. So that was my misclick for this game. So hopefully one misclick for each is even enough, I hope. So yeah, medium tank does the most damage, or maybe the copter did the same damage. If it did the same damage, I'd probably attack with the copter because it would take counterattacks with the machine gun. But I'm pretty sure the medium tank did more damage to the neo tank. And the battlecopter loops around the bottom side, attacks from the road. It's in the air, doesn't matter to it. And then the tank here finishes off that neo tank. So that's one way of using hyper upgrade solely offensively. to get that nice attack boost and movement boost. So yeah, anti-air kills that copter. Recon still trying to make up for the misclick, uses it to damage that infantry. They use the power already, so doesn't matter. Kill the tank on the force, which allows this infantry to move in, kill off that infantry. Medium tank moves in, protecting my city. Anti-air moving back, trying to stay in covering range of most of my units here. Artillery and infantry, anti-air all moving forward, and I immediately start capturing this property. Just to look at this, the only thing, first off, it can reach because of the power, which is super nice because of the river tile here. Now the only thing that can interrupt this capture is this battlecopter. What does this battlecopter want to do? It wants to move in and just start being on the offensive. However, it's the only thing in range to like interrupt this capture, so this is hella annoying for my opponent. Very likely gonna die, but hey, it's deterring a battlecopter from moving forward. Do a little bit of double anti-air protection myself, not covering anything unfortunately, unless it attacks from this space here or goes for this city. Whatever is over here is going to get a nasty welcome. 18 for my opponent here. Trying to move up. Unfortunately, can't get the vision of the mountain, but sees I have an infantry on the missile tile. Starts capturing the property, despite seeing the infantry here. Excuse me. As well as seeing battlecopter infantry here, so yeah, this capture is not happening. And my opponent just goes for the interrupt here. It's at 5 HP, so I can definitely capture and force it to kill it this time. Anti-air is moving up. Artillery gets a nice shot on that tank. My opponent trying to do the same thing here, but my battlecopter is just fine moving forward. And they start capturing that city, and there's a reason I had two of them there. So my opponent is trying to transport units. Gets the attack, opens up the city. Nothing strong to attack with. I don't think I've seen a medium tank from my opponent yet. So yeah, they kill the recon, that's good for them. Kill off my vision. Reveal my artillery, which really sucked. And yeah, it's just moving his units forward, attacking from the city. Artillery, infantry, tank. Again, infantry on the front base. That's nice to have. So it's the start of turn 19. A little bit ahead on the unit value. A little bit behind on the unit count, but we'll just see how it goes. So artillery, just enough to interrupt the capture. That being said, without a power. So yeah, I use my stronger artillery to deal damage to the tank back here, and instead I have the battlecopter, you know, just attacking the tank here. Another battlecopter attack here. Kill the 3 HP infantry for some reason, not the 5 HP. Maybe it would have survived, or maybe I just moved up and gave it space to attack that 5 HP, which thankfully it killed. Anti-air is just moving back for repairs. I kill off that infantry, capture this, threatening my opponent to do something about this. Not going to get that capture with a power. And yeah, I'm just probably overextending a little bit, because this is my opponent's strong side. But I just have a lot more units that are like consolidated together, so it doesn't hurt as much as, say, if I left it alone. And I got my own Neo tank. So now I have the death ball, as some people joke about it. And now here, my opponent just moves back and attacks. Kept that battlecopter there for days, a few days. Lose a battlecopter. Transport copter is probably gonna carry some infantry. Recon moves up. My opponent captures that property. And moving around, hyper repair. I believe my opponent used the hyper repair solely for that. That cheeky bastard. And they start hitting my black boat, and I'm just like, oh dear. So now they got like plus 20% offense from the comm tower and the power deals 4 damage to my black boat. Man, they better kill it before I get hyper upgrade or something. Slowly starting to consolidate in the middle here, and why is there a Mega Tank in my Global League game? That's exactly what I said to some of my friends. I'm like, why the hell do I have a Mega Tank in my Global League game? I don't ask them for advice though. Outside of I guess on the topic of Global League and with friends outside of the game, do not ask for tips or help from your friends in the middle of a Global League game. That's very important. You know, it's unfair when you have 2 brains against 1. Just don't share tips. Just maybe show them something funny like this. Like, yeah, I don't see it now, but eventually I'll just be like, there's a Mega Tank in my game, Global League game. What the heck is going on? It's Andy though. So that means that I'm gonna need to kill this when he has hyper upgrade. So artillery damages the infantry here instead of my 1 infantry. I kill the vision first, and I use my Biocopter interrupt this capture. I reveal this artillery, which is kind of nice, and my anti-air is the one that interrupts this cap at 6 HP, so I definitely want to kill it the next turn. Just get more cheap shots on the city here. I need to capture this city back. Shouldn't be too hard considering my position. Thankfully, I am able to kill the anti-air with medium tank and infantry, despite my opponent having the plus 10% power boost, defense boost from the power. And yeah, I'm just like, you know, targeting a lot of the units here. And I kind of like wall up because I'm like, alright, you know, let's make the income even by capturing this middle property instead of this property up here. Anti-air in range to cover all these units, thankfully. Not these 2, however, but you know, any ground units that attack, it got an artillery there. Another battlecopter and tank, infantry. Don't know why I built the tank here. Another micromanage mistake that I did. So yeah, my black belt's now at 1 HP, which is a little bit scary. Puts more pressure on my HQ. Mega Tank's just rolling in like 1, 2, 3, 4 movement. That is so slow. Artillery backs up the other artillery, and my opponent attacking from the city, but I've got 2 artillery looking at it there. And yeah, that 1 damage on that medium tank, that's a little scary. Don't have anything for the middle though, so I'm going to even up the income again by capturing that property. And I gotta deal like 3 damage to that thing, at the very least. Battlecopter, recon, infantry, tank from my opponent this turn. So I capture this property, now income's even again. Not evenly split symmetrically property-wise, but hey, you know, still something. And yeah, I kill the, I don't kill it, I do damage to the tank. I don't know if I saw the replay or not, but yeah, you know, funny enough, I just move the infantry around to the side so nothing can come around again. Again, I expose myself on a city. Anti-air is losing fuel, to my surprise. So I just kind of wall up again, and I'm just like, yeah. You know, they've got a bunch of artillery here. I see what my opponent's trying to do. Possibly going for an HQ cap. Let's just try to be annoying here. I do have a chance to maybe start putting my artillery on my opponent's black boat and just start firing from there. Unsure if I do it though, because I guess I'm just trying to like be annoying and maybe capture properties. Infantry, recon, tank, and battlecopter. That's the same thing my opponent did? Infantry, recon, battlecopter, tank. Yeah, it is. So the recon moves up. I'm not fully committed to going all in because, yeah, I was afraid of exactly this thing. Airport's just right by the black boat. And now my black boat is exposed. Battlecopter's dead, and my opponent is capturing my HQ, being annoying by hiding this. And plus I got 3 anti-air on that side, 3 artillery on that side. I mixed it up again, dang it. And I can only attack from 2 angles. But I do have an artillery here, so yeah, this is definitely a dire situation on my end. It looks like this infantry got trapped. Yeah, had the vision, so that's why I was able to attack. And my opponent's just splurging out tanks. They have 3 artillery, a capturing infantry, a hidden infantry, and just a bunch of tanks coming in, a mega tank coming in as well. So I have to interrupt this or stop this and go for all the artillery here, which are super annoying. So I go for that kill. Battlecopters don't hide in the forest, so I was able to get that. Hyper upgrade. Now I finally got the attack boost. Medium tank is full HP. Artillery not, unfortunately, but health is also damaged, so my damage just skyrocketed exponentially. Stop that cap entirely, and I kill that artillery, damage that artillery, kill that tank, and it's at 1 HP. Normally I wouldn't worry about that, but my opponent's super is on the way, so that artillery would have came back with like 8 HP, 5 from the power, 2 from the city. That's 5, 6, 7, and then 8 HP. So I kill all the units here, and my HQ is impenetrable at this point, so they're gonna have a tricky time here. And I just, like, you know, double capture. Double capture. 1 battlecopter, you're gonna have to get 1 of them. My opponent's gotta make a choice. Recon does not reach. Wait. Yeah, it doesn't reach, so this is a situation for my opponent's battlecopter here. Like I said, I'm just being annoying, forcing my opponent to use up the battlecopter for something. You know, I'm like balling up in the middle again. Have plenty of forces up on this side. Still don't see the mega tank though. Gonna be a bit scary. Anti-air battlecopter, infantry. Yeah, you know, just pumping out infantry. Look how annoying this is. So my opponent gets the vision. They see most of my units, not all of them. Mega tank just like hides in the forest. Tanks are beginning to move up. My opponent has an anti-air because I see all these battlecopters. 2 anti-airs. I got like 2 battlecopters there. 3rd one and a 4th one just out of his vision. Oh no. Oh man. Artillery. I have the super too, so I have a defense boost and an attack boost. Artillery there. Oh man, I wish we could see how much these healths are by 100 instead of 10. And the infantry doesn't have enough damage because I've got the defense, and my higher defense boost was just enough for a stronger counterattack. Felt like Sonja a little bit. So yeah, my opponent has nothing to stop both of those caps, so they just go for 1. Understandable. And it leaves the copter like most forward. So day 23 for me. Finally capture that property, so now I'm ahead 2 income. And I start revealing the artillery here, and I'm going deep in the middle. I admit this is a bit much for me. I join cap here, so now it's at 5 HP. Just do a little bit of scouting. I don't see much here. I want to get rid of my opponent's scouting, however. I would have had the vision, but the mega tank is hiding in the forest. Infantry interrupts that. Could have used both of these infantry to like capture both of these properties, just to be like an annoying little threat, like how I was over here. And look how it worked out. I got 1 of those properties. Oh no, I do it. I have this infantry here, so nice, I guess. And I have the artillery. Oh man. If he wants to stop these caps, then they're going to get hit with artillery. Oh man, this was so satisfying. I got another artillery here and a medium tank, bro. This is gold. Personally for me, because like, yeah, I'm in a fantastic situation here. On my opponent's strong side too, which is a little ridiculous. Tank moves up, because why not? So, and yeah, I guess kudos to my opponent, able to make me pull like 2 battlecopters from their potential just to stop that 1 infantry. He could have locked my airport if I didn't build anything there. And I'm just hiding myself because, you know, my opponent has this property and they have the vision. And I got my own neo-tank, 2nd neo-tank actually, and 2 infantry, just enough with no base skip. Alright, so day 23 for my opponent here. They just move up. C2 copters. Stops that cap entirely. Damages my infantry up here. My opponent pulls back, just trying to interrupt that cap, and they build a fighter. I wonder why. But maybe because they saw like 2 copters. But they already had like 2 anti-airs though. Fighter though. They had enough for a bomber actually. They could have built a bomber and like build 3 infantry to avoid base skipping. But they don't base skip with the fighter at least, so that's another nice thing. So they got like 2 anti-air coming in, and they try and interrupt the catcher, and oh man. My opponent moves in with the artillery in vision range. So I'm like, I think they're like, yeah, this is go time. One less angle for me to attack the mega tank with. So when I came back and I saw this, I was just like, what the actual heck did I just see? So my opponent has their power. I've got a handful of things I need to do here. I need to kill this tank so I can get another angle to attack that tank with and attack the mega tank with. And I gotta kill this mega tank. If I leave that 1 HP, that's 6 XP. You'll see how strong these things are. Oh, I was in range with the Neo tank, so that's incredible. You'll see how strong these things are. But first, now I'm 4 income ahead of my opponent. So artillery in range to kill off that tank. And let's see here. First off, just 1 damage from a 9 HP artillery attacking a mega tank from a plains. Could have done 2 damage, not entirely sure, but yeah. I attack from the missile silo with 3 terrain stars, and I take 4 in return. But I'm halfway there. Tank comes in, does 3 damage, does 3 damage, leaves it down to 2. It's out of ammo because it only has 3 shots. However, this one probably won't matter because boom, it just dies. Battlecopter moves in, takes out that tank, and unfortunately I wasn't able to kill that though. So I just have the Battlecopter kill because, you know, it's Andy. You want to kill all the units. I just start balling up again. Artillery, what the heck are you even trying to do, buddy? You're not covering anything. I just pulled back. Got the anti-air here. So a bomber would have kind of sucked. But it would have gotten a good amount of value if it killed a Neo tank. Or damages my Neo tank. So yeah, I'm just kind of balling up again. Moving my opponents forward. Medium tank, infantry, recon. And I got a infantry that's down here. So my opponent, they move the fighter up. And the infantry up. 1, 2 anti-airs, kills my copters. An unfortunate loss. So sounds like a Titanfall reference. And yeah, and I'm just hiding here just to be a nuisance. And yeah, they got a rocket and a mech. Rocket behind the river. Unless I got Battlecopter, it's going to be a little hard to get. But at this point, it's looking very dire if I'm already over here. So yeah, first thing I do on instinct, just kill the anti-air. I capture with this I capture with the infantry here. Probably should have waited to see if I could have gotten my super, because you know, usually, like I said earlier, you capture things first. Like you capture your comm tower, so you get that plus 10% attack. Here I should have just waited because I'm like not too far away from my super. Should have waited for my super. I think I do some strange things here. Oh yeah, I probably sacrificed some units just to get that charge, and I should have done that to get the full HP. Start capturing the airport, get it in 2 turns, because this tank and this recon and this tank can't reach the battle cop, can't reach his airport, and this fighter can't attack infantry. So yeah, boom, I get those hits, and I kind of saw it a little late, you know, just sacrificing my units here. And just, you know, getting up that charge. I'm capturing this property. And yeah, I'm damaging this one. And I pop my hyper upgrade. I had the chance to pop it and then start capturing, but I captured first, and that was my mistake. But it allows this Neo tank to just come in and just boom, through the forest. Kill off that recon. My opponent's vision, basically. 1 anti-air dead. 2 anti-air dead. Down to 10 units. Down to 9 units. And yeah, I block off. Oh no, I moved it. Dang it. Yeah, I block off my opponent's strong side here, and the artillery just covers it. It's like, yeah, you see the artillery. It's a done deal at this point. I have more infantry to like start capturing properties. Recon just moves in for vision's sake. I see a mech. My opponent has 2 mechs. Helicopter moves in. Yeah, I'm knocking on his door right here. Recon just moves up. Infantry just moves up. Tank, tank, tank. And my opponent resigns. So, yeah, that was a very interesting Andy mirror here. Some mistakes from both of us here. 4 scops by me, wow. And 1 cop from my opponent because they tried to go for that, capture with 2 HP. I joined 1, that's probably for like a join capture here. So let's see here, I built 79 out of 74 units. How many air units did I build? I built 8 copters compared to my opponent's 4 copter and 1 fighter. I killed 63 and lost 43 units, so yeah, there was a lot of units here that were lost. I remember Ghost 7 showing me something. It was like a graph that was like talking about like kills and looks like deaths and kills. Let me see if I can open this one here. So yeah, we were I was a little bit oh no, wait. I am these graphs are so confusing to read. I feel like there was one that had to do with like income. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, my opponent was ahead on income for a good amount of the game, and then a little bit we started meeting up in the middle, and then yeah, I just took over. Yeah, I think this graph is what I want to focus on here. But yeah, still doing all right in the still doing okay in the Fox side of Global League. Obviously, yeah, at this point of the game, my opponent should have resigned. Like, this is all they can see. They can only see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units, 9 units here, and then I have like, you know, that's 9 out of 36 that they can see. They only got 9 units themselves, so it was a very understandable position for my opponent to resign, especially since this rocket can't really attack anything. Maybe the anti-air infantry, maybe interrupt this capture as well, but yeah, understandable for my opponent to resign at this stage. Again, I wasn't perfect, some mistakes by me. My opponent also, some mistakes by them, but also a lot of good moves as well. I mean, this game went on for 25 turns, so we definitely were, you know, brawling back and forth here. I did sense an Andy, almost went Drake, but I feel like I struggle a little bit in that matchup. But yeah, you know, Andy on Andy, you could see what hyper repair, hyper upgrade can do. You see the value of killing off Andy's units, and you can see the potential that they still have if you just damage them halfway. Even if you damage them to like 3, you know, 4, 2 HP even, they just come back with 5 HP, more movement and more attack, and a little bit of defense. So yeah, that was a theme I wanted to present in this game. Always kill Andy's units. Don't just spread your damage out. Even if they're not near a power, they can just hide it for a few days and then maybe like repair it once or twice. And if it's at 1 HP, just repairing it twice, that's enough to get like a full 10 HP unit. Yeah, that is the strength of Andy. Definitely a whole different play style when it comes to killing off Andy's units, because they just repair. I'm saying repair too much. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching this Global League replay. I hope you guys are excited for something new that I'm doing to this channel, trying to upload a little bit more frequently. I hope that just like keeps you guys interested, and plus I have a lot of games listed, which I definitely do want to get out the sooner the better, because some of them are starting to feel a little bit old, just a little bit. So yeah, it's just a relevancy sake, I guess. Alright guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. I am Advanced Warrior, and you all have my warmest regards. Please take care.